are pruned forth life's only meaning. And now I have everything. Oh, I have everything I need to make me happy. Oh, and I have Jesus, Jesus to show me the way. He has saved me and gave me life eternal.
Karibuni tena, just
And now
have your seats.
I have everything. I have everything I need to make me happy. And I have Jesus to show me the way. He has saved me and gave me life eternal. And now
Karibuni kwenye bado wageni wetu next session. Thank you so much. We're gonna the next session we're gonna have a demonstration. So we need 32 people, volunteers, 16 brothers and 16 sisters to volunteer. We're gonna arrange 32 seats here. So I request we swap. We'll have 16 volunteer sister and 16 brothers. So we'll sit alternately. A brother, a sister, a brother, a sister, a brother, a sister. So we have 16 pairs, 32 people. Very fast. It's purely voluntary to help pastor demonstrate something. So I'm going to request that we arrange here one straight line like this. We'll have 32 seats. So a brother, a sister, a brother, a sister. It can be random. It doesn't just random volunteers. So I think we'll start here. So ni kama nyinyi wenye mmekaa hapa ni kama mtahama unless you're volunteering. Sawa. So unless you're volunteering utabaki. So we can have a brother, a sister, a brother, a sister, a brother, a sister, a brother, like that for 16 pairs. So let's have volunteers very fast so that we begin the next session. The ones on the tent, you're requested to please sit down. Wenye bado mnakunywa chai, mnaomba mchukue chai mketi nayo chini. So please let's cooperate very fast. We'll have a brother, a sister, a brother, a sister. Yeah, just here. So nyinyi mtamka, by the way. Unless you're staying over to volunteer. Pastor wants to go. So msiwe na wasiwasi ya kiti because I think the chairs are enough for us. So if you leave your seat, just come. Someone will go and occupy that seat of yours. So please, very fast, let's have volunteers to make it faster for the pastor to have a demo. So I think we have a brother. So maybe we need a sister, a brother, a sister, a brother, a sister, like that. 16 pairs. So they come up and talk on a sister. So we need one sister to come and sit here. Bro, you can stay. You can stay here. So sister moja kuja kaa hapa. Thank you, Ruth. So a brother, a sister here. Unless you are you calling inside? That's fine. So that's 1, 2, 3. Very nice. So bro, then sis. So we need a bro here. So very fast, bro akuje from anywhere. Just come and volunteer and sit here, brother. Any brother, please come and volunteer and sit. Very nice. Thank you, bro. So there's this brother. So next, again, another brother here. So how many do we have? That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the fifth pair. Fine. So we need 16. So we need 9 more. So 11. Sawa. We have 5 here. So we need 11 pairs. Yeah. So another brother, please come here. Any volunteer, brothers, brother, sister. Brothers, please. A brother to come here. Thank you, bro. A sister here. You can even move forward if you want. A sister to come and volunteer. Thank you, Clarice. A brother, another brother. Another brother to come here. Volunteer, please, bro. A brother. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. A brother here. Thank you, bro. God bless you. A sister. A sister to come and volunteer here. Anyone, please. Any sister to come and volunteer. Meanwhile, let another brother come. Thank you. God bless you. A brother to volunteer. A brother to volunteer. Thank you, bro. Sister, a brother, another brother. Brothers, please come and volunteer. So now we need 16 pairs. So let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 more. Is that? No. Like we need 32 people. Yeah. So 8 more pairs. So a sister here or from here? Oh, so let's begin from this side. That's fine. So I think bro, you'll have to come this side here. So maybe we start, I don't know, from here. Oh, from there. Okay, that's fine. So that's okay. That's okay. You can start here. So maybe move a bit. Just move a bit this way. Just right there. So. Sawa. A brother come here. A sister, just come close. So let me see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. So we need 8 more pairs this side actually. So this is 1, 2, 3, 5 more pairs. So a brother and a sister. Thank you, bro. So 4 more pairs. A brother here. Okay. Pale. Okay, fine. So that's 4. Yeah, so 4 more here. Yeah, only 4 more. So a brother, sister, like that. So 4 brothers and 4 sisters basically. Mmepatikana hakuna kuepa. So but now there are no brothers in this area. So kuna huyu. Yeah, so that's 1. So just move this way so that kaya hapa. So 3 more brothers, please. Thank you, bro. Yes. We'll kuja hapa, bro. Yeah. Just come here. Yeah. So 2 more brothers. Okay. Bro, come. Alafu sister moja aingie mbele automatically. So next to him, a sister aingie. Thank you so much. So 2 more. Yeah, 2 more brothers and 2 more sisters. Okay, let me. So maybe. these are 10 pairs.
10.
These are 10 pairs. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so 2 more pairs. So a sister here.
Okay.
A brother to come. A bro. Washomeka. Mtasonga nyuma. Just move, bro. Come mbele warudi nyuma. Ama huko mwisho. Okay, fine.
Okay. Kuja.
Just come this way then. Just come. One more pair. You can come over this way. You don't have to stay next to the fire. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think they're fine. Yeah, they're okay. This was 10 pairs, so now this is 6. Bro, it should be there, pale. Kuja hapa. Just move this way. Just swap here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 5. Oh, I think we need one more. Yeah, one more pair. So one sister to come and sit next to Enoch here. One sister to come and sit next to Enoch here. Thank you. Very nice. That's okay.
Okay, before the next speaker speaks, I want to do a small illustration. So nataka Oliver achukue Biblia na microphone. Atusomee Matthew chapter 1 verse 1. Matthew chapter 1 verse 1.
The book of the generation of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham.
The
book of generation
of
Jesus Christ,
the
son of David, the son
Okay.
of Abraham.
Son of David, son of Abraham. Son of David, son of Abraham. Why is the Bible not speaking of anybody else? He's saying from Jesus we jump to David, from David we jump to Abraham. Ni sawa? Okay. Wewe ni Abraham. So mark your name. Your name is? Abraham. And your name is? Sarah. Sawa? Abraham, Sarah. Go to verse 2.
Abraham begat Isaac, and
Abraham
begat Isaac,
Isaac.
and Isaac begat
Okay, so
Jacob.
you are I, and you are? Okay.
And
Mark your name. Because after akimaliza, nitauliza pengine huko watakuwa wamesahau. So Isaac, and you? Then?
and Isaac begat Jacob,
So you are Ja, and you are? Okay.
yeah.
Then
So and Jacob begat Judas,
you are? Judah. Judah. Sio Judas Iscariot. Kuna Judah mwingine, Judah.
Jacob begat Judas and his brethren, and Judas begat Phares.
And Judas begat
Phares.
Phares. And with who?
And Zara
And Zara with who?
of Tamar.
Tamar. So you are? Tamar. Tamar. So listen closely. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob,
Judas,
Judah
or Judah, okay,
with Tamar.
yes.
Have you heard the Bible speaks about Sarah? Have you heard the Bible speak about Rebecca? Have you heard the Bible speaks about Rachel? But you have heard the Bible speaks about?
Tamar.
Mark that.
Yes.
Are you marking? Okay. Then?
And Phares begat Esrom. And,
Esrom.
Yes.
So you are? And
And Esrom begat Aram.
so Esrom, his wife is not mentioned, isn't it? Okay. Esrom begat?
Aram.
Aram.
And Aram begat Aminadab.
Yours is? Aminadab. Okay.
And Aminadab begat Nason.
Nason.
Yes.
Okay. You know yours? And then?
And Nason begat Salmon.
Salmon. Uh-huh.
And Salmon begat Boaz.
And someone begot? Boaz.
Of
Boaz.
Yeah, of Rachab. And
Boaz of?
Rachab.
No. Salmon begat Boaz
Of Rachab.
of Racham. The Racham is Rahab. So who is Rahab? Who is Rahab?
The wife
The wife of who?
Boaz.
No.
So Salmon, sorry.
Salmon. So she is Rahab. Have you heard another woman mentioned? But only Tamar and
Rahab.
I want you to mark similarities. Are we going together? Okay. Then Boaz.
And Boaz begat Obed of Ruth.
Boaz begat Obed through. So Ruth is isn't it?
Yes.
And she's mentioned. So we have three women mentioned. Rahab
Tamar.
and Tamar. Okay. Now you are Obed. Okay, and Obed?
And Obed begat Jesse.
Jesse. And the Obed wife is not mentioned.
Yes.
Okay, began Jesse.
And Jesse begat David the king.
David. Sorry. David. And he looks like David the king.
Of her that had been the wife of Urias.
Are you listening? The wife of?
Urias.
Who is that?
Bathsheba.
Bathsheba.
Yeah.
Hao wengine mnaweza kutoka. Let me reach David.
Okay.
I'll deal with you later. So from Abraham to David is how many generations? Just count. Abraham say 1? Huh?
2.
Eh? Are you sure? Tumetoa ngapi? Fares nani? Fares was skipped. Ni wawili warudi basi. Wawili. Pole ndugu. Tuanze tena, tafadhali muamke. Abraham, let's move very fast.
Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Judah, Phares, Esrom, Aram, Aminadab, Nason, Salmon, Boaz, Obed, Jesse, David.
Sorry, Mr. David, you're So David. So how many generations are those?
14.
14, good. That's what I wanted. Now there are 14 generations from Abraham to David. And how many women are mentioned? 3. No. 4. Which one? Then Ruth, Bathsheba, and then in get Solomon. I want to show you. Are you listening? I want to show you that marriage has been used in the Bible to produce grace. Are we together? Jesus Christ passed through. Tumesomaje? Hebu soma hiyo Matthew 1:1.
Book of generation of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham.
The book of generation of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. But from Abraham to David, we have 14 generations with 14 wives, and only 4 are mentioned. So we want to see what is the similarity of that 4. Because Jesus himself is grace. Jesus is? Let's go together. Jesus is? Jesus is? How many letters are in Jesus? 5. 5 is the number of grace. Good class. Tuko pamoja? Now, who is Tamar in the Bible? The wife of Judah. I want us to read the Bible. Who is Tamar? Can somebody open the word Tamar and read for us? Or to redeem time, will you believe me without reading? Okay. Tamar was the wife of the son of Judah. How many knows that? Oh, you don't read the Bible. Tamar was married by a son of Judah. That son died before he got a son. Before he got a child. And then she was given his own brother who refused to bear a son or to bear a child with Tamar. Ni kweli? Na Mungu akamuua. Watu wawili wakauliwa ambao walikuwa mabwana ya Tamar. Na walikuwa watoto wa nani? Wa Juda. Imekuwa ngumu. Sasa kulikuwa mtoto mwingine mmoja alikuwa hajaoa. Na Juda akaona huyu mama atanimalizia watoto. Akamtuma kwao. Akatuma Tamar wapi? Kwao. Akamwambia huyu kijana wangu ni mdogo, wacha akue, alafu nitakuleta akuoe. Ndio uendelee kunizalia. Sasa nataka ujue Tamar was not an Israelite. Tamar was not an Israelite. And Tamar was married by a son of Judah. He died, no children. His brother killed by God because he refused to say the children, isn't it? Then akaambiwa aende kwao. Akarudi kwao. They were neighbors. They were actually in Gentile. Akarudi kwao. Akaambiwa kaa huko mpaka kijana wangu akikuwa mkubwa nitakuleta. Tuko pamoja? Akakaa. Maandiko inasema Tamar realized amekoniwa. Amechezewa mchezo na Juda. Na Tamar knew there is no way God can deal with her unless she is inducted into the house of Israel. Because God was not dealing with the Gentiles. Gentiles were dogs. So Tamar can disguise herself like a prostitute. Akakaa kwa njia. Alijua Judah was a weak man. Not Eric, Judah. Was a weak man. Akapitia hapo. Amejifunika. Judah hakujua huyu ni nani. Akanegotiate. Wakaenda wakalala na yeye. Bibi ya kijana yake ambao alikufa akampatia kijana mwingine akauliwa na amemwambia aende nyumbani, lakini Juda hakujua amelala na mkasa mwana, si ndio? But Tamar knew, for me to be inducted into redemption, I have to have a seed of Israel. Ni lazima niwe na mbegu ya Muisraeli. Na kuwa na mbegu ya Muisraeli lazima niolewe na Muisraeli. Akapata mbegu, mimba mwezi wa kwanza, wa pili, wa 4, wa 5. Juda akasikia your daughter-in-law is expecting. I want you to mark when you read the Bible that Tamar, wakati Juda alilala na yeye, alimwambia sina mfuko uko empty. Akamwambia sina hela, nitakutumania mbuzi. Wakati huo hawakuwa na pesa, walikuwa wanalipwa mbuzi. Na kutumania mbuzi kesho. Tamar akamwambia lazima uniachie kitu ya kuonyesha utanitumania mbuzi. Huyo mzee Juda akatoa ile vimbo ya wazee, akapatia Tamar, akamwambia enda na hiyo, kesho ukiletewa mbuzi upeane vimbo yangu. Tamar akaenda na vimbo na hakurudi. Hiyo siku ya pili huyo mtu alituma akaenda na hiyo mbuzi, akatafuta Tamar, hakujua ni Tamar, akatafuta huyo msichana, hakumpata, akarudisha mbuzi, na Tamar akakaa mpaka hiyo mimba imekuwa kubwa. Alafu ufununu, inaitwaje? Fununu ikatokezea kwa Juda, akaambiwa your daughter-in-law is expecting. Now Judah said, how can she expect? How can she do whoredom when she's supposed to be married by my son? So akaamua kulingana na Israel culture, she has to be killed. She has to be killed. So akaletwa, wazee wakaletwa, akaambiwa lazima auliwe. Juda akaambia watu amewaleta kwa nini? Tamar akasema kabla sijauliwa nataka kusema hii mimba ni ya nani. Akachomoa ile vimbo, wazee wakaangaliana, akaambiwa mwenye mimba ni Juda. I want you to listen very closely. So Juda ndio alikuwa amelala na daughter-in-law, akapata mtoto anaitwa Fares, ndio huyo Fares. Ni sawa? So by all means there was no way, and there can never be any way where a woman can sleep with two children, brothers, and sleep with a father. But Tamar did that. And the Bible, when it's mentioning the generation of Jesus Christ, the messenger of grace, faith, salvation, Sarah is not mentioned, Rebecca is not mentioned, Rachel is not mentioned, but Tamar is mentioned. Are you listening? What has Tamar done? Whoredom, and she is a Gentile. Two things. Whoredom and she is a Gentile. From Tamar, tunaenda kwa Fares, your wife is not mentioned. Tunaenda kwa Ezram, hatujaambiwa bibi yako nani. Tunaenda kwa Aram, hatujui bibi yako. Tunaenda kwa Abinadam, tunaenda kwa Solomon. Solomon tunaambiwa alioa nani? Rahab. Okay. Who was Rahab? Who was Rahab? A harlot. Who was Rahab? A harlot. Hakuna mtu anasoma Biblia ajui Rahab. Rahab was an harlot. What did she do? She hid the spies who were sent by Joshua. To where? Across Jericho. Akawaficha, watu wa Jericho wakapitia hapo, wakaambiwa wao watu wametokea, wameenda. Na alikuwa amewaficha kwa nyumba yake. Na wakati walipita wakashuka, Rahab akawaambiaje? Tunajua na tutatetemeka vile Mungu anawatendea. Vile Mungu anawatendea. Na the whole country is trembling. Akasema mimi sitaki kufa na watu ambao hawamjui Mungu. Na huyo ni Kaaba. Kaaba. Akawekewa red scarlet. Majeshi ya Joshua ikaenda huko Israel. The wall of Jericho wall fell, but our house did not. With the people who were there, they were saved. Are you seeing something? An harlot and Gentile. But there's two things happening here. Tamar decided by all means, by faith, to get a seat in Israel. And because of that, she bore two sons, twins, Phares and Zara. And Phares was the one which lineage of Jesus Christ. Juda akona legitimate wives. Lakini Yesu Kristo, mbengu ya Yesu Kristo, haikupitia huko. Ikapitia kwa malaya. Ikapitia kwa? Okay. Mbengu ya Yesu Kristo, ikapitia kwa Rahab, ambao aliolewa na Solomon, who was a general in Israel, after they conquered Jericho. Na Solomon alikuwa na wake wengi. Lakini wakati wa mbengu ya Yesu Kristo, haikupitia kwa hao wake wengine, ikapitia kwa Rahab. Kutoka kwa Rahab tunaenda kwa nani? Ha? Boaz. Boaz. Mnajua Ruth? Who was she? And Gentile. Anje? Walienda wakatoka Israeli. Biblia inasema walifanya makosa sana. Muisraeli alikuwa hafai kutoka Israeli, lakini walitoroka. Naomi na bwana yake, Ruth na bwana yake. Ruth alikuwa mtoto, ameolewa na mtoto wa Naomi na another sister in law, na wakaenda nje ya Israeli, na kukawa na kiangazi kingi sana. Na mzee wa Naomi akakufa, mzee wa Ruth akakufa, mzee wa the other daughter in law akakufa. Wakaachwa 3 women. Na Naomi akasikia huko kwao kuna mafuno mengi. The barley and the wheat is ripe. Na akaambia hao wasichana, walikuwa Gentiles, the two of them, waende kwa wazazi wao, kwa sababu Naomi haezi zaa na ana mwana mwingine na hawezi kuwasaidia. Huyo mwingine akaenda, na Ruthi akasema, mimi siendi, nitaenda na wewe, watu wako watakuwa watu wangu, Mungu wako atakuwa. Na akaenda Israel. Wakati walifika walikuwa ni wakati wa harvest. Na akaambiwa na Naomi what to do. Na akaenda kwa harvest, gleaning the land, kwa Boaz. Kwa Boaz. So Boaz akauliza, na huyu msichana ni nani? Akaambiwa huyu msichana alikuwa ameolewa na kijana ya Naomi. Na wakapotea, wakaenda wakati wa kiangazi na wamerudi. So Boaz akasema lazima wafanye redemption law. Redemption. Because their shamba had been taken. They have to redeem it. Na kulingana na Israeli na Biblia, mtu wa karibu ndio alikuwa anafanya redemption. Na yule mtu alikuwa karibu na Naomi, kama ango wa Ruth, akakataa, akasema mimi niko na familia na sitaki, kwa sababu ulikuwa una redeem Naomi na unaoa Ruth. Akasema mimi sitaki bibi mwingine, niko sawa. Na akakataa kuoa Ruth, kuredeem Naomi. Tuko pamoja? Yule alikuwa anafuatilia alikuwa Boaz. Na Boaz akasema mimi ndio niko kwa mstari. Na akaita wazee na akatoa kiatu. Akasema siku ya leo na hapa, siku ya leo na hapa, nimekomboa Naomi na nimeoa Ruth. Na kupitia kwa Boaz ni mbengu ya Yesu Kristo kwa huyo Ruth. I want you to sing grace. Tuko pamoja? Tukatoka kwa Ruth, tukaenda kwa kutoka kwa Solomon tunaenda kwa nini? Kwa Obed, kwa Boaz tunaenda kwa Obed. Obed. Who is Obed? Obed. Then? Hapana. Boaz ni nani? Tulipotezea mahali. Boaz ni huyo na Ruth. Boaz tunaenda kwa Obed. Obed tunaenda kwa? No. Jesse ni nani? Ni huyo. Okay, tunaenda kwa Jesse. Alafu David. David. So to Jesse, bibi yake is not mentioned. Si ndio? Obed, bibi yake is not mentioned. But David, mnajua, alikuwa na wake wengi sana. Hata msichana wa Saul, alikuwa anaitwa Michael. Alimchekelea wakati aliona akidance. Na Mungu akamfunga mimba, akamwambia hatapata mtoto because alikuwa na madharau. Na David kukiwa na vita, akatokezea kwa palace. Akatupa macho, akapata Bathsheba akioga. Bathsheba was a Gentile, she was a wife of Uriah, na akamtumana kwa sababu ya tamaa ya mwili. Mnasikiza? Akamleta, akalala na yeye, akapata mimba. Wakati alipata mimba, David akaamua, hii mimba ikijulikana, kwa sababu hii ni adultery, niko kwa shida na huyu mama ako kwa shida. Akatumana Uriah, alikuwa kwa vita. Akakuja hapo, akamwambia nimekupatia leave, enda nyumbani. Alikuwa anataka kuchanganya ndio Uriah ajue yeye ndio mwenye mimba. Si inafanyikanga hivyo. Uriah akakataa, akasema hawezi kwenda nyumbani when the armies of the Lord are in the battle. So akakataa kwenda nyumbani. Akaenda hapo kwa gate. David akasema apatiwe mfinyo, pombe. Ndio wao confused aende nyumbani. Akakunywa na hakuenda. Akalala hapo. The following day akaenda vita. Hakuenda home. Akaenda wapi? Vita. Wakati David alijua huyu mzee mtego wangu amekataa na hii mimba inaendelea kuwa kubwa, tuko kwa shida, akatumana the general, akasema Uriah awekwe the hottest battle, forefront, the hottest. Akawekwa hapo, Uriah akauliwa. David akaamka akasema mimi ni mfalme mzuri sana, wale wanawake bwana zao wameuliwa, wacha nimuoe. Akamchukua. Sio ilikuwa chenga? Imagine through hiyo chenga kwa huyo msichana au kwa huyo mama anaitwa Bathsheba, ati Yesu Kristo amepitia hapo. It's called grace for women. 4 is the number of earth. Utasikia mwingine, hiyo ingine na mention ni Mary. Na Mary na mention at the end of when Jesus Christ is coming and she's a perfect one. But 4 women with very bad record. They brought the lineage of Jesus Christ. So marriage, God uses marriage to depict grace. Ni kweli? Now, one thing I want you to notice in those marriages, Tamar desired to be in the house of God. Through hook or crook, God loved it. Akasema hiyo ni faith. Binadamu wakiangalia huyu mama amelaaniwa. Amelaaniwa na kijana na ndugu yake na baba yake. Mungu anaangalia kutoka mbinguni, anasema hii ni grace. Tuko pamoja? Tunaenda kwa Rahab. Rahab, malaya, alikuwa anajulikana Jericho. Mungu akasema mbegu yangu itapitia kwa huyu malaya. Kutoka kwa huyo tukaenda kwa Ruth. Kutoka kwa Ruth tukakuja kwa Bathsheba. What am I saying, friends? I've handled so many issues, so many things. Wandugu wakitafuta perfect women, wakitafuta perfect wives. Mungu anasema perfection is Christianity. Perfection is grace. Msichana hata akiwa alipitia kwa njia gani na amegundua Ukristo, ameokoka, huyo msichana anaweza kubeba bengo ya Yesu Kristo. Na anaweza kuolewa by a holy man who has never touched a girl. I know that's sad, but that's the truth. But you find brothers are looking for virgins. Looking for virgins. Yesu hakuwa anaangalia roho, anaangalia Mkristo anaangalia mtu ambao amerepent, mtu ambao amechange his ways. Rahab changed her ways. Tamar changed her ways. Bathsheba akaolewa kwa Israel. Ruth akasema, your God will be my God, your people will be my people. Na Mungu akafanya hao wanawake wakaolewa na watu wa maana sana. Wakaolewa na watu wa maana sana. Wakati unatafuta bibi, tafuta mtu ambao amepinduliwa, mtu ambao anamjua Kristo. Historical things, they belong to God. They belong. Brothers, I will deal with you in the morning. Because unakuta, unaenda na kitabu. Wewe uko virgin? Hapana, anakuacha. Umeanza kufanya census. Unaanza kufanya? Ati hiyo ni qualification. Hakuna kwa Biblia qualification, unless hakuna qualification ya aina hiyo. Si kweli? Hakuna. Mungu, msichana akianguka na arepent, aende mbele ya Mungu na Mungu amsamehe, huyo msichana anaweza kuolewa na ndugu ambao atakuwa deacon, atakuwa trustee, atakuwa jemedari wa Kristo na atalea watoto, na hiyo jamii itakuwa jamii ya Bwana. Ni kweli? Na saa nyingine tumeweka kiwango ambao Biblia haijaweka. Tumeenda juu tukitafuta bibi, tukitafuta bwana. Tumeenda mpaka kwa mbingu, na Mungu anapitia hapa chini tu. Ana Rahab, Ruth, Tamar, malaya. Enda kwa message. Kuna mama alikuwa anaitwa Griffin. Anaitwa? What is the other name? Rosella. How many people have read about Rosella? Rosella. Hakuna? Kuna mtu ametoa? Hata wewe? Okay, a few of them. Rosella was an alcoholic. Mlevi kupindukia. Wazazi walikuwa wamefika mahali wakan give up. Ameenda from one institution to another institution to another institution to another institution. Siku moja wakasikia ndugu Branham anapitia kwa hiyo kijiji. Rosella akaenda huko. Wakati ndugu Branham alikuwa anaombea mtu mwingine, Rosella akainuka mkono akasema hata mimi. Alikuwa kwa balcony. Na saa hiyo Rosella akaokolewa. Hiyo maneno ya pombe ikaisha siku hiyo. Ikaisha siku hiyo. Rosella akaenda akaolewa, akapata jamii na akaanza huduma wa distribution of pamphlets za message. Tuko pamoja? Friends, you marry a friend, you marry a friend, you marry somebody you love. I'll deal with it. You marry somebody you love. Because the problem of dating today is because we don't understand the principles. Hatuelewi kabisa. Tuko na vitu tumenjenga kwa akili na tunafikiria hapa ndio inatakikana iwe hivi. Vile ndugu Martin alikuwa akisema. The principles of relationship leading to marriage, they are very basic, they are very simple, now they are being complicated by technology. They are very simple. Abraham, David, God bless you. Can we clap for them? Our next speaker is Nganga. We'll just get a few life skills on how to enter into these things. So I was just talking to Nganga on the major issues. They are very, very good brothers. Very, very nice brothers. They are Christian, they love the Lord, but they don't know the principles of winning a girl. Of winning a girl. Wako sawa?
Thank you.
They don't know how to win girls. So Nganga, wapatie mawaidha.
Thank you, Pastor.
Let's see.
God bless you. I think I would like first of all to bring apologies from Brother Kariuki. I think all of you know Brother Kariuki, yeah? Brother Kariuki is where you had your last bonfire. And he wanted really to be here with us. Unfortunately, he couldn't come. He's not feeling very well. So keep him in your prayers. Getting that out, I would like to pass through the same thought that the pastor has pertaining to grace. I don't know why Pastor has chosen me to talk to you this evening, but I think I am the epitome of grace. Because if you know who I am, then you know it is just grace. I am not worthy to really speak to you about relationship. I will just basically give you my background a little bit so that you feel comfortable. I was born in a family where my father had 4 wives and 3 concubines. We were 49 of us. We didn't know each other. And my father left home when I was 4 years old. And by and large, I was brought up by a single mother. Like today, the population, today the statistics show that literally 7 out of 10 marriages break by the year they are 6 years. 6 years in marriage, 70% are broken. True? Those are the statistics that are shown. If I'm wrong, Pastor, you will tell me. I think that's the national statistics. And we're in this Kenya, so we are not immune. We are part and parcel of the Kenyan population. True? So that's basically who I am right now. And I would want to basically ask a question. We are talking about health relationship. What is a relation? What is a relationship? What is relationship? Because it's very easy to miss out the point by really not understanding what we are talking about. Let's demystify what we are talking about. What is a relationship? In simple terms. Before you go to the adjective defining that noun. The noun is a relationship, correct? The adjective is health, healthy. It's a healthy relationship. Eric, I know you are a lawyer, aren't you? Yeah, go on. Tell us what's a relationship. What is a relationship?
Thank you. So from the simple definition, relationship is relating. So basically it is how I describe it is the process of relating to another person. That's the simplest definition I can come up with.
Somebody else? I would like, anyway, because of time, I would like to give a different scenario. A relationship is connection or association. Connection, how are you connected with this one? So that's what we call a relationship. Then here talking of healthy relationship. What do you mean by healthy relationship? Healthy. I am an engineer, so let me follow through the same thought about connection. Connection is basically when you were putting an electrical wire. Sindio? Unaweka ya hiyo stima unaweka through so that then you are able to have powering here. Correct? So that connection, you unaweka wire from, you have your neutral, you have your live wire, unaweka pamoja inakuwa connected. Sindio? You go through a terminal box. That's what we call connection. So that connection, if it's not right, it will give you a short circuit. True? It can give you a short circuit. Or hakuna stima completely, a loose wire somewhere. Hakuna stima itatoka. Sio? A short circuit can burn up this house. True? So in electrical engineering, we talk of sound connection. So when the connection is sound, okay, stima inaenda vizuri, there is no danger of any situation. So you can easily put together, do away with healthy, put in sound relationship or sound connection. I would want you to understand the opposite of it. What is the opposite? Unhealthy or unsound, si ndio? Ambayo italeta short circuit. True? In normal circumstances, you call it toxic relationships. True? Toxic, poisonous. What are the attributes of a good relation, of a sound relationship? Let's look at it from that perspective. What are the attributes? What are the characteristics of sound or unsound? We have just given you where you have a short circuit in steamer. Sindio? That is an unsound. That's one of the characteristics. You have not terminated correctly. You've turned neutral, you put to live. True? Utachoma nyumba. How about when you have a sound connection, one with the other? A sound relationship. You have some attributes, you have some characteristics. What are they? Any? Yes?
I think mutual respect.
Good. Mutual respect. That's very good. Yes? Somebody else? Pardon? Effective communication. Trust. Come on. Somebody else? Understanding. Encouragement. Pardon? Okay? Kindness. Those are the attributes. Na tujue namna hii. Hiyo stima, there is neutral is black. Si ndio? And red is for live. Si ni kweli? It means therefore there are responsibilities. We need to understand. Let's put it from that perspective. When somebody is coming here, Pastor Martin said, you are coming with your goat, and somebody is coming with his maize. Si ni kweli? Let's now put it together. What is the responsibility of the red wire? When you are a good electrician, unajua hii ni kubeba live, si ndio? When you are coming into a relationship, do you understand your responsibilities? What are you getting into? Those are the fundamental issues. Let's not talk about theoretical issues. You see, a lot of us, we think Christianity is theory, and you go and get preached there, and then you have an issue. Christianity is the real life. The pastor said here, okay, if you are basically looking for a virgin, don't waste your time. Are you an angel yourself? Jiulize namna hiyo. Why are you starting digging the graves? You become a grave digger. Si ni kweli? A lot of us are digging graves. When somebody is looking for a relationship, they must be able to understand your responsibilities. And what are you looking for in this relationship? One of the issues one must understand is that every one of us have our garbage in our lives. True? The way we are brought, you are a product of nature. Correct? You are a product of your DNA. You are a product of your environment. True? You're looking for marriage. Or you're looking for a relationship to give you joy and happiness. You are born in a dysfunctional family like me, there was no happiness. What happiness are you going to give to your person that you are relating to? Which you cannot give what you don't have. True? Even the Bible says from the heart, okay, maybe Pastor will talk about from heart comes what? Eh? Yeah, the mouth speaks. What is full in your heart? If you have if you are not brought up in a happy family, what's the probability of bringing happiness into your marriage? True? A lot of us live those times when we were thinking we were happy. Some of us were spoiled kids. And the boys especially, they never grow up. From that time they were 2 years and they were being pampered, kababa, junior, sindio. And still you are 29, you are thinking this girl should also call me Kababa. Si ni kweli? Because your mind is still fixated to that time when your mother, your father called Kababa. And the little girl, who is now 29, has refused also to grow because, okay, every heartbeat in the home was surrounding this angel. Sindikwed, she's remembering the angel that Baba called me, Daddy, and okay, correct? They have refused to grow. You develop what we call narcissistic tendencies. Who want you marry that narcissist. True? So far, we're talking. So it's very important to understand yourself. Be self-aware. That's the beginning. Are you aware that you're still growing that 2-year-old boy? Are you aware you are still the angel of your mother, of your father? When the sun, okay, the universe, you are the center of the universe. Even when you are 29, you are 30, you are still there, 2-year-old, throwing tantrums on this girl who has also her garbage collecting. True? When you are aware, you understand the type of garbage you have collected along the way. True? We have collected, all of us are garbage trucks. What we are looking for dump sites. True, you are going to dump that garbage you have somewhere, and you want a dump site that will not judge you. True? All of us. If you have no garbage that you have, okay, you have not grown up. If all of us, you have a problem, a clean slate somewhere in your life, you have not lived. It is expedient for all of us to grow up. And growing is getting the experiences of making mistakes. A real man is not exempt from evil, but a real man has surmounted those evils. And it's expedient for you to go through that. True? If you are looking to be exempt, you are a clean slate, pure, you have not lived. This world is not your home. It's true. By and large, that's the fact. And what is the responsibility of each of us in a relationship? Are you aware? There is nature given. Let me talk to the boy child first. Because our boys are endangered species, by and large. Because one problem, we are not very self-conscious and self-aware of ourselves and our responsibilities. Nature has given man 3 things. They are called the 3 P's. Those 3 P's are your responsibilities. By nature, 1, you are a protector. By nature, you are a protector. 2, you are a provider. And number 3, you are supposed to be a preside. You preside. You are a president. You preside over yourself, first and foremost. You lead yourself. And secondly, lead the people that are responsible. You are responsible for leadership, providing leadership. And the girl has the nature of nurturing. Correct? By nature, there is always the urge, the natural aspect of being a mother, or nurturing out. True? We are finding girls here, amongst ourselves, our sisters, who have continued with that nurturing spirit, okay? And the boy is there waiting to be nurtured. That's why you go out, and the girl is very quick to want it to pay the bill, because she wants to nurture this boy who never grows up. True? That's what's happening. And the boy in the process continues being the boy 2-year-old. That's why they talk about women getting what they call baby fever because of that nature given, because there is always that urge. The boy having those 3 aspects of the responsibilities, they have become too big for them. They are scared. Am I going to be able to protect? Am I going to be able to provide? Am I going to be able to provide the leadership? More importantly, you need to be able to grow up. Men have refused to grow up, unfortunately. Actually, most of us, even at our age, we are still boys. It's high time the men woke up and responded to the call of being a man. A man is one who has his body, okay, who has made his body, okay, a servant to his mind. His passions are servants to his will. True? That's a difference from a boy. A boy thinks me. Everything revolves around me. You go out dating, you will be able to see the nature of that boy or that man. Is he able to control his passions? His passions are supposed to be a servant to his will. His body is supposed to be servant to his mind. He's supposed to be, okay, to have self-control. Because self-control gives you strength as a man. Are we clear? And calmness gives you the power. And right thinking, you must right think. You become a master of right thinking. Without those, you have major problems. Otherwise, you are still a boy, even at my age of 70 years. You still remain a boy. You've refused to take responsibilities. And that's why a lot of us are feeling threatened. You find a successful woman, you start wondering, this one, I don't think so. Is this a problem? We are having that problem, true or not. Instead of being able to know this successful woman must be encouraged to pursue, okay, their own passions and ambitions. A man is supposed to have goals and ambitions. A lot of us do not want to have those ambitions. We have defined our success into values, into materialism. Correct? You think success is being seen doing the drifting that people wanted to go drifting along the express. I don't know whether you normally do your drift. I think there are so many people who are doing drifting right now and doing those skits at 160 kilometers an hour. You think you are a man. You're just a boy. I'm telling you the fact. Seriously. So, I would want you, let's go back and become a man. Let's heed a certain lady said, women are looking up to the men who will be real men. And that time when you have heeded the call of becoming a real man, great women will look for you. Because they know this man knows how to appreciate women. True? Take up your role today as a man and grow up. Women are looking for those things. Don't go grave digging. Great men. More importantly, a lot of people are looking to improve your circumstances. True? You want to go up the ladder in your corporate ladder. You want to drive a bigger car than yesterday. But majority of us are not ready to improve ourselves. And improving ourselves is basically self-awareness. True? You cannot do anything else until you know your weaknesses. Do your SWOT analysis. Sine kweli? Do a proper SWOT analysis. Acknowledge your past. Acknowledge you had a dad who never cared for you. But don't dwell there. Don't blame your dad. He will not change anything. True? He had his own baggage also. True? Acknowledge and basically learn from there. That's why I say I'm an epitome of grace. Because whatever I am here right now is by God's grace. Accepting you can't change the past. Discuss the reality, the issues that you're having right now. Once you know what is wrong with you, then take step about it. It's pointless knowing what is wrong with you, okay? When you are becoming very toxic. When you are toxic, you start wondering, why am I always toxic? Why am I becoming a bed bug in our relationship? Because people can become very bed bugs, ndio? You are supposed to be the provider. And here, umekuja kuwekwa, si ndio? Is that, I don't know what you call it in the, okay? True? Oliver, kweli or wrong? We have refused. We are looking up. I say this with all due respect. I know people. I know a lot of people, even at my age. Wamewekwa. You may not literally be there, but that is what you are. You are a parasite. Okay? And to all intents and purposes, a lot of times you go looking for a woman who is whatever is successful. Now I'll give a very good example. I had one person I helped get a job. And then when he got married, he said, my wife is working, so I don't need to work. Akaacha kazi, akaenda kuwekwa. True. So that, and we are in that scenario ourselves right now. God has given you a responsibility. Okay? Noble and godly-like character, okay, does not come by chance or by favor. It is through natural, conscious effort that you do. The Bible says, ask, and it shall be given unto you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock. What are you looking for? You don't just go and ask. Families, keep on appreciating your parents and hopefully bring the same happiness, okay, in double portion into your marriage. True? Those who are given, more is expected of them. True? If your parents brought you well, appreciate them, and more is expected of you. You become a better parent, a better mother, a better father. Those of you who came from a dysfunctional family like me, you are not permanently condemned there. True? Know what were your issues there. learn from those who want you is you keep on repeating the same mistakes. The Bible says, I shall visit the iniquities of your parents through unto the fourth generation. You can decide to become the fifth generation where the curse is done away with. It doesn't matter from when. True? That shall not be perpetuated. Clear? I want a question from especially the young men. I'll start with Oliver, my friend. Okay? What are your aspirations?
I think for me, my aspirations are very clear. Normally in my life, I have 3 priorities. Number 1 is God. Number 2 is family. And number 3, I love my career so much. It's so dear to me. So I aspire to be the greatest of architects that can be found in this part of the world. Yes. With that, I try every day to give my best to improve myself in that way. But number 1, as I've said, most importantly is God. So I'm not perfect. I make my mistakes. But I aspire to give God the best that I can give him.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you,
of course,
Oliver.
family. Yeah. Thank you.
You can hear his priorities are right. I think of you might have gotten the analogy whereby take a glass jar. You know a glass jar? Okay? I don't know that you've heard that analogy. If you haven't, I think I'll just talk about it. Your life is basically that glass jar. That glass jar may only be full when you put in three oranges. True? Correct? When you put in 3 tennis balls, it can take 5. True? Maybe you put smaller tennis balls, it will take 10. Correct? Then you can put in a lot of sand and you'll never be able to put in any oranges. So, choose what you put into your glass jar. You put in a lot of sand, little things that matter. The garbage of wrong connection, true? Bitterness, pride, true? Achievement. Those are the little things that you fill up in the jar. The big things relating to relationship. He's talked about relationship with God, relationship with his family. That's what matters. At the end of the day, when he's no longer a practicing architect, the family will be there for him. True? Yes or no? When that big car you'll be driving, that Prado is no longer there. True? It's no longer there. The family is there. Choose what are the big things that control your life. You are a free moral agent. Life is full of choices. Everything you do in life is a choice. You may say you didn't have a choice about your marriage, about where you born, but you have a choice of how you react for being born in that family. That's the choice you have. True or not? You may say you have no choice about the neighbor that live with you, but you have a choice how to relate with that neighbor. So everything in life is a choice that you have to make. I would like to take a few questions and then probably hand over to my friend. I don't like speaking to a class that is so quiet. It makes me very nervous. Is there a question? Yes?
Hi, so my name is Joseph. I had a question regarding what you just spoken about. So when you're getting into a relationship or you are also you said we shouldn't be going digging graves or anything. So wanted to ask, is it okay, like, to speak with your partner maybe about your past, and then maybe hopefully you hope they can have the grace maybe to understand, or it's better to just not talk about it? But I think that could be a problem maybe if they realize later something that they might feel offended or something. So is it okay to speak about it before the relationship and the partner understands, or you just keep quiet so that you don't go digging graves? Thank you.
Another one I would like to, so that I can address. And remember, this is my own opinion. Okay, this is not the pastor's opinion, whatever I will say. But for me, I think before somebody else comes up, I would like to answer you. What are you looking for in a relationship? You're looking for a friend. Okay? You're looking for a dump site to take your garbage. True? That garbage, that dump site will not be constantly reminding you that you are stinking. True? You are a garbage truck. Every one of us is a garbage truck. And at one time, all right, we still will continue stinking, but do something about it. You have offloaded. And that's the issue. For me, a proper friend is one that I am going to be vulnerable to. You become vulnerable to a close friend, and your prospective wife should be your best fan. True? Your prospective husband should be your best fan. If there is the greatest fan in your life, it should be your partner. True? And therefore, for me, okay, open up. Empty myself completely. That's what I would do. Correct? That's me. And that's what I would advise. Become vulnerable. Tell your past. If she moves on, she was not meant for you. Simple. If she cannot take the garbage you had, the dump site is too small. Have I answered you? Become vulnerable, my friend. I think, for me, I think that's what the situation. It's better that they know you've been upfront rather than thinking, okay, pretending you're an angel. Usifiche kucha, Waswahili wanasema, courtship unaficha kucha. For me, I want somebody I am going to be vulnerable to, that I can open up to. True? If they have the grace to take my past, which does not define my present, okay, then we have made a friendship, we have made a connection, rather than pretending. And the same case goes for the same person. True? Yeah, let her tell you she's not a virgin. If you are looking for a virgin, then you are looking the wrong place. True?
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is both a comment and a question. So I think I'll start with the question first. At what point should you be vulnerable to your partner? Because this person could just be fishing for information to go and spread rumors to other people. Akuharibie jina. Correct? So at what point should you be vulnerable? That's the first part of the question. The second one is a comment. And this is just me and my observation. I found that, not rather I found, but I've noticed if you ask too many questions, you might get answers that you don't want, or rather you're not ready to, what's the word, to process. And you might be shocked, you might be traumatized. And maybe that was not your intention. You are just asking out of curiosity. and it might actually damage you emotionally and just mentally. This is just my comment. So, yeah, I'm emphasizing that. So, you must really ask yourself, if I find out whatever it is I am asking, am I ready to live with the answer?
Correct.
Whether it's positive or negative. If the answer is negative, then you better not ask the question and you find a way to live with it. Because you might ask questions, say even a very practical example, you found this person, you really like them. But in the course of relating, your mind just gets curious. You want to start asking some questions about their past. And mind you, you're already so attached to this person. And in the process of digging into their past, it affects or it colors your opinion of them because of questions you did not have to ask. Because you actually find that rather how you should look at it is, whatever question I'm asking, does it affect this relationship? If the answer is yes, then by all means ask, and you must also be prepared to live with the consequences. If the answer is no, then better not ask
Okay.
it. Thank you. Those are just my brief comments. But please answer my question. Thank you.
That's a difficult question, but all the same, I'll try. There are two elements. You don't want to become vulnerable to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. True? Yeah. There are processes that you go through to be able to identify that this is a real friend. True? And once you have identified a real friend, you don't usikue gazeti inasomwa kila na mtu anataka kusoma Daily Nation. Si ni kweli? So you need to be able to have gone through the processes of silting and filtering through, and eventually say, I think our roho zetu zinaduda pamoja. True? That's the time you become vulnerable, and see she will also, whether she will be also be vulnerable to you. Are we clear? So there is those processes you got to. Don't become a Daily Nation. And the relationships are not done on social media, tafadhalini. True? Social media has really destroyed our relationships. Ukipeleka mtu kidogo huko, unapiga selfie, unapost. True? That's immaturity. True. This is total immaturity on those scenarios. I think the pastor will go through the processes in which you are supposed to go in terms of dating, in terms of taking a girl out. Don't take my girl out until I have known that Joyce. Ako wapi Joyce? I thought she was here. Ama ameenda kulala. You are hearing me? So let me know. Correct? When you're taking out, you are giving me the honor, and you're giving her the respect due. True? In the process, mnajuana, si ndio? And the other comment you have said about digging the past and issues, you know you love this person at that moment for who they are. If you love them for who they are that time, the past is not relevant anymore. True? I think that's the scenario. Do you love me? Do you love them for who they are? That's the question you need to know. Clear? If the question is not, you do not know, then do not ask so many questions. If you are not ready to take the consequences because you are still in doubt whether you love this person for who they are, okay, then don't ask. Because if you love them for who they are at that time, okay, your mind will not be changed for who they were yesterday. True? Supposing they told you, now you are seeing them, they are no longer garbage truck, but they are carrying gold. Sindio? The same garbage truck, inachukua garbage inapeleka Dadora. Lakini in the process can be turned into a truck to carry gold. Sindio? So yesterday when it was carrying garbage, it was a garbage truck. Today it's a golden. Have I answered you? Have I commented? Good. Any other question, comment? Yes?
Thank you. Now, the fact that you've mentioned about someone not taking your daughter out without your knowledge, something just crossed my mind. And at what point should you involve your parent about going out on a date with someone? Because maybe someone is taking you out and you're not sure if it's going to work out. So how many guys are you going to take to your dad? Am I going to take them all 10 every time? Then we are not together. I'm taking the other one. I'll confuse him. So what's the best thing to do about that?
Pass. I'll leave that to the pastor. I think it's right. Okay? The pastor will handle those issues. So I will pass that question.
There's another.
Yes.
Okay, God bless you.
Amen.
My name is Martin. Before I start my question, I think that question that has been passed to the pastor, my friend was asking, what happens if your family is in Siaya or somewhere in Western and you can't be able to board a bus to Western? So maybe the pastor can also help us answer that.
Okay.
And also my question is in terms of career. Now for the brothers, I do know that we, as Oliver has said, as if you've noted, you said God, then family, then the career. So for the brothers, I do know that we put career somewhere up and we are targeting that before we get settled in life, we would like to sort of have a certain salary, maybe a certain house that you'd like to live in. And personally, when I was young, I was being told that relationships / dating starts somewhere when you're in university or somewhere there. So some of us have finished university and we don't have any dalilis. And we are wondering now, how does one know that this is the time to maybe take someone out? Do you get a message from God or something? And I'm sure that we do have targets in life. For example, my brother here might have a target of maybe before he goes to that next step of dating, he will design in his heart to have a kashamba in Joska, Kisiagi near archives. So maybe you can just advise us when does one know that this is the time, and is there a certain age bracket? Because some of us are age is really moving. And maybe you can just tell us of the signs that something is happening. Yeah, thank you.
A study was done in US pertaining to married and unmarried or singles, and it was found for the same age group, a married man or a married couple, a married man will be doing better than the equivalent single. Mainly because if you have married your right person, there is synergy. You've married a teammate. 2 + 2 is 3. That's what we call synergy. Are we together? That synergy, you bringing in, okay, whether they are working or not, there is synergy that comes in getting married. Are we clear? So if you are waiting to marry when you have a house, you'll keep on waiting. Because majority of us, that's why you are supposed to marry in a Simba in Luoland, sindio? If you are waiting to marry when you have driven a BMW, you will keep on waiting. You are not marrying. If that girl is looking for your BMW for your house in Runda, all right, she's not looking for you. Are we together? You marrying because you need companionship. You marrying because you need a friend. True? You marrying because you've seen some values in this person that you can make a family. You can be friends for life. True? The Bible says there is good to marry when you are young. I think the pastor will also, you can even read yourself. It's iko pale. Okay? So it's good to marry young. Me, I married when I was in school. I was doing my A-levels. True? I'm not ashamed. I'm happy for it. Right now, I have grandchildren. Some of them are here. Your age, you know? Can you see what I'm saying? At my age now, I have grandchildren. I married when I was still in school doing my A-levels. Are we together now? Okay? I may have married wrong. Correct? I may have married wrong, but by and large, those are stepping stones for me to learn. And hopefully, my children will now take my footsteps to learn from them. They will not repeat the same mistakes. Don't marry because of a BMW. Don't marry because of a house in Runda. Have I answered your question? Yeah, please marry young. It's very good. Don't wait until you're 35. You will not even have a BMW by then anyway.
There's another question here.
Yes.
God bless you.
If you have, I'm sorry. I'm not being personal. Eh? I hope. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. It's not personal, eh? Martin, eh? Yeah, thank you. Yes.
God bless you.
Amen.
My name is Moses. First of all, I want to appreciate the small talk you've had with us. I think for me, I'm really liking the analogy you're using, the garbage and those many things you're using, so that to make us relate the serious things to how they can be simpler. Now, you've mentioned something, and I'm finding it already, trying to juggle my mind. The SWOT analysis component that one can do at an individual level. We are used to it from the project or the work kind of setting. Maybe if you can talk about it, demystify the way you've said, so that at least we can be able to apply that to ourselves first.
Okay.
Yes.
Any question maybe related to that? The SWOT analysis comes into it's basically strengths and weaknesses that you need to appreciate. Look at yourself clearly in the mirror and be honest to yourself. Understand? All right? And look at it and say, I seem to be a very temperamental person. And my temperament is affecting my relationship with people. I tend to be a very mean person. I'm not kind. If you find a malnourished cat out there and you basically don't care about it, or you find a malnourished, you find it very difficult. Migumu sana kupeana. Whatever it is, accept and look for whatever the situation. Okay? The prophet said, start working on it and do the opposite. Whatever is giving you pain, that is your weaknesses. If you are paining, those are your weaknesses. Because anything that gives you pain, okay, you will go out looking for a doctor for it. Very wrong. You cannot sustain a lot of pain for a long time. Get yourself pained so much to be able to know, you either go down onto your knees and pray, God, remove this from me. True? And do the opposite. Those are issues you on a personal level. Forget the issue, you go competition and competitor analysis and all those issues you do on your corporate SWOT analysis. Isn't it? you can easily bring it. You, first and foremost, you are the first corporate that God created. In yourself, you are a total, okay, a total corporate person. At that individual, there is no better corporate than you as an individual. There is no way individuals can create better corporations than God created in the human being. True? And that's where you start thinking, where did I lose it out onto this issue pertaining to, where did this come from? That's the time you find probably your mother was did not have much to whatever you inherited a bit of your mother. So you inherited a bit of your from your father. Okay, of being a womanizer, for example. And once you know here, then you'll be able to keep that weakness guarded. True? The sin that is it? True. Sindio? And identify it quickly and guard that issue. Don't put yourself in awkward situations that will always ignite that particular weakness that you have. Correct? Am I talking to you? Have I answered you? Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for what you've shared. I'm just curious. You shared about what is expected of a man, the 3 Ps, the protector, provider, and presider. I think most of the times we as ladies, maybe you could answer this, yes, of course, from a man's perspective. Maybe most of the times we might think on our own what men expect of us. Maybe from you, what is expected of a lady by a man?
Thank you. That's, I am sure the pastor, I can see Sister one day we'll talk about, but I will tell you, there is nothing important to a man than being appreciated and respected. That's the most important thing for any man. Respect your man and give him the honor. Okay? Tunaelewana? Don't even love him. Give him respect. Actually, the Bible says, okay, I think men, love your wives. The women are given honor and submit. In this day of age of the woman, it's very difficult to submit. It's very difficult to honor. Nothing as difficult. That hurts and dehumanizes a man if there is no respect from his woman. Appreciation, on the other hand, is dual. Every one of us likes to be told, thank you. And it's never too fast. You never be too busy to say, thank you. Somebody said, gratitude is the fuel that, fills the tank of kindness. When you immediately give gratitude and thank you, kindness will flow quickly. If you're not grateful, the tank of kindness slowly goes down. Fill up that tank of kindness by always appreciating. Thank you. The other element pertaining especially for a man, and this is where please, ladies, apologize when you have made a mistake. It is very difficult for ladies to apologize. And that's why a man is called into to become. Tunaelewana? If you have to speak your 40,000 words per day, all right, be careful. True? But the man also must be able to know those 40 words per day must be offloaded in the day. And that's why it is told you need to be calm as a man. True? Do not respond on the heat of the moment. Tunaelewana? Yeah. And you never win an argument with your woman. Never. True? Before you have spoken 10 words, she has spoken 50. You will never win. Yes? Oh, there was a comment somewhere. Thank you. Pastor, can I give up now? I give to Brother Oweru? Yes, please. I think time is... Yes? Fine, thank you.
I'm so glad to be among you and listening to whatever you're advising our young sisters and brothers. I have a comment about the age and about finances as a man want to marry. Let me tell you something. Before you plant a seed so that it can bring a plant to bring a fruit. So according to my experience, I'm married.
Thank you.
So, my dear sisters, don't look at whatever the brother has. Love is between you and the man, and it is in spirit. The moment God has ordained someone, you don't look at what he has. Why? Because it comes and goes. So imagine you're marrying a person because Oliver has a Prado. The next minute, kitu inafanyika. What are you going to do? Are you going to leave him? By the vows that people say, they tie us. So if you're not ready to be tied, don't try. So the moment you are looking at finances, the way a person is dressing, the way a person is relating, I add sense. I make sense.
True.
So if you're meant for each other, money doesn't count. But there hata mnaweza tengeneza tu ka wedding simple. Mkuje Sunday.
Exactly.
Our pastor to pray for you. Only that. But there is power in a wife's prayers, which can make that Oliver to have Prado when he was walking, when you saw him. There is power in prayers, sisters. By then, these days, I was telling somebody, we are living in an age that you should possess all things. There's a message by that.
True.
By that, yeah. Possessing everything. We should possess. Why? Because whatever the message we are eating, it's very special. And other people there outside, they don't have it. So let's not take it for granted. And I repeat, don't take it for granted. Kujua message. Me, I knew it when I was grown up. So, nyinyi wengine wenyu mmezaliwa kwa hiyo message. Don't take it for granted, friends. You are eating fresh manna every day. And to cut the long comment short, God bless you.
Thank you.
So I don't know. I think there was one here.
Thank you. Let me just comment what the sister said. It does not matter what type of a man you've married. Be the Abigail. Tunaelewana? That's what we are looking for. Every one of you knows the Abigail of the Bible. Senior, she saved, okay, the household of Nabal. Alikuwa naitwa Nabali, whatever. Si ndio? We need Abigails today in our families. Thank you, sister. There was another.
Brother, you can guide. I think there was a hand here, there's one there, and there's one there. So maybe, I don't know.
Can we?
Let's take 3 and then
Okay.
God bless you.
Amen.
So me, I have a comment in regards to the thing you talked about being vulnerable. This is just a comment though. So the first thing you've done when you've come on to speak to us, you've spoken about your past. You've said about your life, just a little bit of it. You've owned up to it, and you're actually proud about it. What makes the difference between the life that you lived and the person you are right now is the grace that you've found, right? So if somebody has lived his life back then, has done everything he has done back then, and he has found grace in God right now, he's already justified. So it doesn't matter who he tells, whoever he tells, how many people he's going to tell about it. At the end of the day, he's justified by God. So you take it or you don't take it from me. Somebody else is going to come in who will understand me, who will just feel it's okay being the way he is. I like him or I like her, that's the way she is, and that's it. Plus, from what I've seen over time is that the more you talk about something, let's say if it's still new, it's always very good, very fresh. But when it's spread all over, it loses taste. If right now, if something is, let's say news, this thing that you're saying, people are going to talk about me all over. When people talk about you all over, after a while, it's going to lose taste. It's not going to stick. So don't be afraid to be vulnerable to anyone. Just go on, be who you are, own up to who you are, be proud of it. It loses taste. And the person who's meant for you is just going to come for you irregardless. That's my comment.
Thank you, brother. That's correct. But remember always this, Paul said, everything is lawful, but not everything is expedient. We have different, okay? So remember, we have different levels of faith. We have different people. So again, I would advise, always, it's good. And not only basically you are vulnerable to your woman, you always need a friend indeed. Doesn't matter whether it's a lady or a woman who you can be vulnerable to. Every one of us, we are social animals. We need somebody that will be able not to judge me. Okay? Somebody who will tell me, Brother Nganga, you are stupid. And I will not take it. Okay? Okay? I will not take it as an offense. True? I need somebody who will keep on reminding me, don't be stupid, don't be silly. Sinigwe. You need those people who will keep on reminding you. It's very important. And not everybody will have that courage. It's only a dear friend.
So God bless you. On that point about being vulnerable, I think I should ask this. For lack of a better phrase, or how I should phrase it, assuming you decided to become vulnerable to a person, and then kinda you feel what? I'm not ready for this. In the sense that, okay, in as much as you want to take in whatever it is that he told you, in you feel that it's too much for you. But then you've gone to that step, like you've taken some steps into the relationship, and then they told you all about themselves. Okay, I think this is what I should ask. How best should you heartbreak someone? No, in this sense, okay, someone told you about their past, and because in them they felt it's good to tell you about it. And then you felt, I think, sitakubali yo, unaona? So, you see, there's that trust they had in you, like when they told you all that. So you have to be human enough to be like, okay, they've told me this. So how should I be polite and tell them, okay, I think for me, it can't work. Yeah, as in you can't just be cold-hearted and go like, where's kutaki? Amalache ishe, unaona? So you have to show a little bit of empathy, like you understand. But again, Unaona? So bro, umesimpa yako yote hapo hivi. And then you see, I hope you understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good you have used the word empathy. Relationships are built on empathy. Put yourself in the shoes. That's what empathy is. Walk in the shoes of that person. And always remember the golden rule. Remember there's someone on the mountain. That forms the golden rule. Correct? Do unto others what you would want them, done unto you. Walk into their shoes before you act. That's the golden rule. Always remember. If you don't want to be treated that way, don't treat them. Clear? Any other? I think there was somebody, the last one, I believe, so that I can summarize and hand over.
Sorry, I've been asked to speak on behalf of some people. So this is just a general observation from the congregation. So there's a burning question on what does submission look like before marriage in respect to sisters. And I've been told to give a practical example. So a brother asks a sister to go out. Say, for example, they go to a cafe. So when they get to a cafe, the brother, because he expects the sisters to submit, expects the sister to pay for the bill as a form of submission, to demonstrate that yes, they can actually submit when they. That's actually a very valid concern from the congregation. So please elders, elaborate to us, especially to sisters and to brothers, what does submission before marriage looks like? What does submission in the dating phase look like? Thank you.
I'm sure my elder brother will be answering that question, but my comment is clear. You took out that lady. True? You asked the lady out. Ladies never take people out. Clear? That's the first sign of a man who is wishy-washy, sissified. True? You ask the lady out. True? Take responsibility. Tunaelewana? If you are going to expect the sister to pay for that, and she didn't ask you, men are hunters. Sindio? You went out hunting. You didn't go, the lady didn't come looking for you. It's not expected. If you find a lady chasing after you, ready to pay your bills, beware. The same case with the lady should be beware. Mnaenda na mtu alafu anajifanya busy. A telephone call has come from New York. Yeah, wait for ambassadorial posting. I think, have I answered you? That is not submission. That's manipulation. You're exploiting. And that's a telltale sign that this is not headed anywhere. This is an immature, he's still a boy, wanting to be pampered. Clear? I think I've answered. Thank you.
Makofi ya mzee tafadhali. Mzee has spoken about a grace, so I think we can sing Amazing Grace as we... Yeah. Or do you want a hotter one? Okay, we can sing Grace, Grace, God's Grace. Grace, Grace, God's grace. Grace that will pardon and cleanse. Within we sing grace, grace, God's grace. Grace
that is greater than all our sin. Grace, grace, God's grace, grace that will pardon and cleanse within. Grace, 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 God's grace, grace that is greater than all our sin.
Can we again clap and appreciate our brother? It's really deep, very simple, in a very low tone, na inaingia kwa mifupa, si ndio? Nashukuru. Okay, now we are going to have Brother Waweru to take it up from there. Another probably 30 to 40 minutes. We are around 4:45, is it? Yeah, correct. 4:45. Then from there we'll give directions what next. So Brother Waweru.
Okay.
Meshindo na mahindi.
Okay. God bless you. My name is Waweru. Oh, Brother Waweru. I think some of you know me. We were with you at Brother Kariuki's place the other time. Today I don't have my notebook, so I'll not keep you and I'll not be relevant. I talk too much, like I'm completing a syllabus, so today will be a relaxed affair. Now, allow me to say one thing, yeah? I have a code, so you excuse me, I don't have the right voice, but whatever I have, I'll give to you. Now, I wanted to say marriage, as far as probably, you know, marriage is a very funny definition. If you say marriage, to me, marriage was created by God and comes from God. Is it working? Oh. Pole. So, if you look at marriage, surely it's a very funny contract or a very funny affair, because to get somebody to marry is not as easy as we take it. Because you see, it's a long life, a long haul, not just a relationship for today, tomorrow, and next year you are parting. Not like white. I think I said that the other time. To marry is a commitment for more or less life. Let me be, even if I will not talk long, if you marry and you marry the wrong partner, you suffer for life. Sidio? So, to me, you'd rather even not, the way most people are taking it these days, you take long to marry. Afadhali, you take long to marry. And when you marry, you own up. Sidio? But don't marry like the whites. You are marrying today, next week you are parting, or next year you are parting. What for? It looks like you didn't know what you are doing. So if you know you are getting to a relationship, and a serious one, take your homework. In fact, to me, you'd rather cut enough so that you know the other partner very well. Of course, you will never know enough of anybody. Sidio, my brother, it's never enough. And anybody will tell you that. Even us who have been married for a while, even our pastor, you never know anybody enough. What you do your homework. Like, basically there is certain, what you have been told in church, there are certain characteristics of somebody that you expect. Yeah, if you ask me, there are things I like. Maybe Oliver has his own definition, because I expect my wife or my wife to acquire or to have certain values, certain values, certain characteristics, because I will not just bump to somebody and call her my wife or my darling, will I? There are certain expectations that one have. And the reason why I'm saying sometimes it's important maybe to cut enough is so that before you say yes, you are definitely, let's say, not necessarily maybe 70%, because there is that benefit of doubt. You're about 70, 80% that this is my right partner. And in that token, when I'm speaking on that bit, even when you are 70 or 80, please, at the bottom of it, remember to get a good wife. Like it's said in, is it Proverbs or Psalms? I don't know. To get a good wives come from God, isn't it? And I believe even a good husband come from God. Because if there were, like, what do we call it? There was a systematic way of getting a good wife, or there is it a formula? Yeah, that would be simple. Just get the formula, like you used to do algebra or any other game. But this, unfortunately, it's a serious game, and as I say, a good wife comes from God, and a good husband comes from God as well. So you need to play and play seriously. Do your part, and the rest leave it to God. Yeah? But I would not like to emphasize the fact that, of course, you need to do your job. Let me leave it at that. The other bit, okay, there is somebody who, okay, my friend have said something, but I tend someone not to agree with that. For me, it's important, as you quote, get the other person, to know the other person, even the background. Do background checkup. And I have a reason. I give you a reason, an example of that, why I'm saying that. Because for you to trust me, for me to say, yes, I'm marrying you, or you to give me your heart, or even to accept you, I have to know you. And how do I know you is what you tell me. So marriage is a question of total disclosure. Eric is here. There are certain contracts. If you, like insurance, you have to give your full information, the age. I'm not saying you ask for age in a girl or a boy as such, but there are certain crucial information that you need to disclose to your partner. Because if you give wrong information and you get married, I doubt whether that marriage contract will be valid. At least when the pastor, or during marriage, during, what do you call it, the church, you are said, will you accept this person, blah, blah, blah. And there are issues, there are questions that are asked even when they are joining CDO. So you need to be honest, a total integrity in that matter, in that contract, and at least that principle of disclosure must be total. If you don't, you are lying. Not only before the congregation, before God, isn't it? So that contract will not be valid, because when I come to know a year or a month or 2 or 5 years later, sometimes, let's be honest with ourselves. I married this lady, 2 or 3 years later, there is a kijana or a girl. You had a child with somebody, isn't it? It happens, practical. I mean, look, it will be very disappointed because there was no honesty. Sidio Eric. Yeah, so I think for this session, so that we don't become, we or the generation are very relevant because we don't connect very well because of generational gap. So we would rather address the questions rather than talking, because I don't know what to talk, I don't want not to talk. Do you agree that way? Yeah, otherwise, marriage for sure is a very sensitive, very definite, a very tricky issue. Well, it is done, but you have actually to think about it. Don't take it casually, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, that's my opinion. And that's my statement, and I own it up. And if you want, we can discuss it further on. Because, ideally, you either, a wife will make your life or break it. Wives, those who are calling wives, they are our daughters. You can also break my daughter's lives. Sidio, it's two-way. So please take it seriously. And because, of course, these days, as I said earlier, we are shocked. In fact, maybe the pastors or particularly even parents are shocked to give your daughter or your son is getting married, and then they are parting. We are becoming like westernized, the Western culture, where marriage is, you marry today, 2, 1 year, 5 years. I mean, what is that? It's not, it's very un-African, if you like. it is not very comfortable because mukiashana wenaigesha ukona kitu umewashiwa kibaya either party, si ndio? Huwezi pengine marry again. Of course, from a Christian perspective, the day there is injury of a kind that is very painful. So what I want to say is that at the end of it, that daughter you are marrying is somebody's daughter. You need to take care of her. That man also is somebody's son. So the girl should also be brave enough or have mature enough to also be able to give the information as required. Disclosure is crucial in a contract of marriage or in that relationship of marriage. If you don't, it's wrong. I'd rather probably you ask questions, then we respond to them with my friend Nganga or anybody else. It is good to interact, or even when you have a comment, if there is anything you can add, let's communicate. Let's have dialogue, and probably we end up better rather than one person talking. Nobody knows everything. Yeah, Sidio? You also know because there is nobody have a monopoly of knowledge. So can we have questions? Maybe where you want to clear or where you want us to answer? Yeah, sure. Feel free, my dear.
God bless you.
Yeah. Sound.
God bless you.
Yeah.
Nyama yangu imeisha hapa, nitaongeza kidogo. Okay, brother, I was asking about, you've talked about knowing each other.
Yep.
That's all about character. So I was asking, for example, let me use Oliver. If I and Oliver fall in love, and then how am I to know Oliver's character? And how is him to know my character if we don't stay together? Or in your season, how did you go about it? And then, secondly, I was asking, could you kindly talk about the age? For instance, I'm 25 years old, and a brother, ule nimempenda kanipenda, is like, amenishinda na 10 to 14, like 10 to 14. But mapenzi imeshika.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was asking you kindly talk about age, if it really has some affection or something.
Okay. You are done?
Yes, and kindly niongezwe nyama yangu imeisha.
Utaongezwa. Caterers, you... Okay. One, let me talk about age. Kidogo tafadhali. You know, age is a material fact in marriage. Let's not play around here. Don't be married by, if you are 30 or 20 years. How can we be married by, say like me, 50 years? It's not marriage you want, it's my money. Yeah, you see, marriage, you have feelings. Let's be honest, you have feelings. You have expectations. We are all mature here. I don't think there are children here. So when you talk about age is crucial. I'm not sure. To my mind, again, it's not, is relative. You understand? It's relative. But the age should not be so, I mean, the differential, the gap should not be so wide. Yeah? Because if it's wide, you'll not be able to communicate properly. Because the exposure point, if I'm 50, the things I know, wewe nataka kuenda movie nilienda na nikamalizana na hiyo. Si ndio Eric? Oh, you want to do some investment. Hiyo nilifanya na nikamaliza. So we shall have a problem in communication, a problem in even sharing. You see, you'll be too young for me. Sorry, I'm saying if you are marrying me, of course, there's a good example. The other bit you said is about how do you know the character of Oliver? It's difficult to know. In fact, that's again, I'm emphasizing, you need to be honest. If you're like this guy, and he likes you, you see, ideally, that's why when during courting, you use also your intelligence. because you have it. I will be able to assess, does this guy have values? Like if you read this guy money, thou, and he doesn't return, he told you 2 weeks, and akaa mwaka mzima, that tells you this guy is not reliable. That's the character. You want somebody who has some values of integrity, values of commitment, values of trust, values that he'll take care of you. But kama ni mtu unasikia akona madeni mob, surely that's not a guy that you want to. That's what I mean, character. And in any case, there are certain values you should hold before you say yes to somebody. Whatever values you hold, we used to hold certain other values, but everybody have values that you hold dear to your heart. Sidio, Eric? Yeah. And unless somebody meets certain values to your requirement, I'm not saying you are not really doing an interview to somebody, but for sure, there are certain expectations from the potential person that you want to marry or get married to. You don't bump to Oliver and you start proposing to Oliver, and Oliver could be a narcotic guy, if you like, Paul. Yeah, this guy, you don't know what he does in the night. And then you are telling Oliver, you just see a guy is in the church. Church, we have, we have been told, there are 3 kind of believers. There are true believers, there are make-believers, there are the guys who are there for their own business. So you be careful. Otherwise, somebody will take advantage of you as a potential husband, as a potential lady to get married. Sidio? You have to be aware, guys and ladies, these days, there are terrible times, and you can see all around. God forbid, if you are here for you, and that's why we are, Pastor have seen it fit by his wisdom to call us old as we are, we should be asleep. But we are dedicated this day to you for your benefit, so that tomorrow you have better life. What I'm trying to say, you need also to come out from this place better informed and have value for this time, so that it's beneficial to you and to us. Sidio? Yeah. So I would like maybe you ask as many questions as possible, so that the time we spend here is useful, productive, and perhaps you live to remember it. Let me also say one thing. There is somebody who has how sometimes even this forum, we probably will get 1 or 2 people who will get married. Sidio, my friend, because you had all the time you talked. Maybe this lady you go to church, you have not had the time like you have today. Marriage again, you may be seeing a lady, let's say me like my sister here, and I've been wanting to have a chance, but in the church or in the forum, I don't get you. Maybe your parents are always with you. Yeah, and today is also a day you are open. You can talk to whomever you want to talk to. If any boy wants to, he can. Any brother want to talk to you, Sidio. It's also that social aspect that is created once in a while is important. Yeah, let me not talk too much. But ask questions so that we are able to respond. Where we can't, of course, the pastor is always available and will do the needful any time. Yeah. Any question or you are? Yeah, sure. Where is? Oh.
God bless you.
Yeah, amen.
So
Amen.
my question is, at this age whereby young men and women, we are being pressured by societies to marry early or even get settled in life. So, and at what point in life do you say that I'm in this relationship, and then maybe it has met all the checklists or even the requirements? I've seen the past, I've seen the parents, all those qualifications. So, at what point do you qualify it to graduate to marriage? And number 2, nowadays, unlike in the past whereby men used to be the sole provider of bread and butter, nowadays women are working, and they are actually even working better jobs than men. They are earning 6 figures, they are driving good cars and so forth. So, and then there's this notion about pesa ya mwanamke ni pesa ya mwanamke, and pesa mwanaume ni pesa mwanaume ni yetu sisi wote. So I'm assuming that, let's say, let's give a case scenario whereby 2 young people have married, and let's say the wife could be potentially by chance earning higher amount of money, because you can't control that, because they are learned, they are doing well out there in careers, and maybe a man is doing a business, and the business is not yielding good money. So in terms of that balance, like I've seen in Western countries, it's normally they normally split the bills or even the finances. But maybe in Africa, it's a different case scenario whereby the man is still looked like is still perceived to be the sole provider of bread and butter. So for that context, my question is there a point that someone should say, I'm earning this amount of money, and you're earning this amount of money, we're in this marriage. So as a man, will I still be looked at as a person who should provide everything vis-a-vis my other partner who is earning an equivalent of what I'm earning, or even higher amount of money? So in that case scenario, I think most men are afraid to even get into marriage due to those perceptions about mfuko yangu mfuko yako and so forth. So I'd like you to clarify about that. Let me say that bias around that.
Sure. It's a bias, as you have just concluded. Let me address your first question on terms of the pressure either from the family members or even peer pressure. That is wrong to an extent, because it's you. It's your life. It's not your parents. It's not your friends. That's why I'm saying take marriage seriously. So the question whether I want to marry at 40 or 20 or 30 is purely your personal decision. Yeah, if it's your parents, you can convince them, Dad or Mom, I want to maybe finish my course, maybe I want one or two things. Because, again, maybe before even you get married, sometimes it's good to set your house in order. Yeah, because it depends with the different your taste and what you hold dear to yourself. Because there are guys who want to have these days, I don't know, ladies want to marry somebody at least who have a car. That's what I'm finding, is it? Because a lady don't want that you have a baby here and you are going to Matatu. But then you see that's also pressure to the brother, because cars don't come easily and they are not cheap. It's an investment, Eric. But let me come back to you. The age probably you need also to agree with yourself, either as a man or as a lady, the appropriate age. When should you marry? Certainly, there is no clear-cut age. Our friend, the late Jonjo, married at 50. Yeah, that's a bit out of context. But to my mind, or to most maybe parents, you are around 30 or between, because if you went to university, you did your PhD, by the time you are doing that, you are around 30 plus. But age, at what time you marry, that is purely your decision, and you don't have to listen to or take to bow to pressure from parents or your peer group, your peers. Yeah, because it's your personal life. They have no business in your life as such. Of course, your parents have, because if you are maybe the older one, or they have some other interests, or they want to involve you in certain areas, then that's another thing. Incidentally, there are certain corporate bodies where you will not get promoted until you are married. Ideally, is that you show certain responsibility, because in corporate world, they also do due diligence on your checkup, background checkup. Do you have a family? Are you just a freelancer? Are you really responsible enough? Yeah, all those things, sometimes they come in play. But again, I emphasize, to my mind, that's personal. It's personal, and I don't think you need to worry about what every Dick and Harry is saying. But you need, of course, to talk to, if your parents are putting pressure, then you need to convince them. Not yet, in politely, of course. Yeah, but that's personal. The question of the spending, or your one spouse having money more than you, particularly the sister, is a very sensitive issue. Money, as anybody married, well, of course, the pastor is there. He say money is one of the key issues in a marriage, no doubt. Even when you marry, the question of money, the money issue, will be coming over. It's one of major disagreement areas. The spending, what do you buy? Do you buy a car? Do you buy a house? Maybe some people also are They are carefree in their spending. Now let's come down to the differential in where you are saying the lady may be earning a lot of money. And how that money be spent. You need to be very clear from day one before you commit yourself to a lady. And I'm saying the sister, if she is earning much more than you, that's a warning that unless she have a lot of grace in her life, you could have problems, because she must actually be very nice lady, very mature, and because of other technicalities. Ladies tend to keep their money. And don't forget, I'm married. And we have to agree, how do you spend the money? And you need to agree that just before probably you commit yourself. Yeah, so that it doesn't become an area of contention in your marriage, because it's a potential area where a source of problems come in marriage. Money and many other things, you see. And they say money is the source of all problems. So you need to be careful. But again, it's personal. Even if your spouse is earning much more right now, who says you can earn more in 10 years? The basic point here is, do you love one another? Are you open to one another? Are you committed to one another? Because if surely there is love, the question of money doesn't come in. I doubt whether it will. But it's potentially an issue you need to address early enough so that isikue mkwaso, because inaweza kuwa. Sidio, am I answering your question? So that I don't repeat too much. Yeah. Any other question, please? Think I'm done? Sorry.
I'm asking on that aspect of money, and in the education level, does it matter when the sister is higher than the brother? Does it affect maybe later on in marriage? Does it affect when the brother is lower and you are higher in terms of education? Does it matter?
Again, that is personal. I would rather you look at this way. Marriage is, you need intellectual exchange. You need to talk a lot of things. So in that exchange, if you are, let me see, so that you get the point. If you marry a standard 7 guy and you have masters, then when you talk about certain issues, may it be political, may it be financial, may it be basic things of life. You see, that guy of standard 7 will not be able to comprehend what you are talking about. You are limiting your communication, with that person. I'm sorry, but if it happens, then you have to give a lot of leeway, what we call a big allowance, so that you maintain you maintain the relationship. But it's always advisable that you marry, actually in age and even in the location, it's assumed that men tend to marry lower. I don't know why, that is a myth. But generally men tend to marry lower, and not the other way around, the way you are saying. In any case, marriage, communication is crucial, and that understanding, the way you receive one another, is also crucial. So when the educational gap is so wide, in the end result, after 10, 20 years, it may be an issue. Silently, anyway, but it doesn't necessarily affect your marriage. Because if you love your husband and she loves you, then education doesn't really feature around, or even money doesn't feature around. But there it is. It's personal. Is that okay, madam? Okay. Good. We are done?
I think I've seen one more hand somewhere.
Okay.
Jambo.
Jambo sana.
I have a question on building together. Not in the sense of building nyumba, co-invest. Yeah. For instance, the brother Ganga said about being vulnerable and whatever and sharing things. And probably you have this girlfriend and you're telling her of the visions you have. And maybe in your mind you're like, would be more successful if we do this together. I don't have one. Anyway, I'm looking at it. I'm trying to phrase this question in what do you think about involving this other person in your dreams and not looking like you're telling her to forfeit hers to join in yours so that you can go together in this barabara pamoja?
You know, some of those areas, they are gray areas, and some can be sensitive depending with the personalities. Generally in marriage, what I perceive, because you see, marriage, there are no like a style or a particular, it's not a tailor-made thing, yeah? It's the way you two will relate and the way you two will agree. Like what I'm trying to say, you need in a marriage to be as open as possible. Sidio? If you are making money, whatever you are making, either your hustle, your salary, you need to really disclose to the other person. Because the key point is that should the other spouse come to know there's some income you hide, you see what you have done? There is no trust. And one of the key pillars of a marriage is total trust. If you are now bringing that area that iko maneno unaficha huko kando kando, uko maneno ingine kando kando, your spouse, the moment she doesn't trust you or you don't create that trust, you are in problem. And I'm not saying you are in problem. There will be problem in marriage, yeah, because trust is crucial. So you need to be as open as possible. The question of you two going to a project like mortgage or land or whatever other investment, it's a question of how you want to structure, you know, your financial approach in the marriage. Because there are children, there are school fees, there is mortgage to pay, there are, of course, subsistence living expenses, all that. If you ask me, like, well, let me say about myself. When I was working, it was my job, like, to service the mortgage, to educate the children, and meet certain commitments. It was my wife, my spouse, my wife, to take care of us in terms of upkeep. Whatever you are going to eat, it's clear to have a clear definition who is doing what, yeah, so that there are no crashes. I mean, it's a management issue. You need to address it and address it early. If you like, sometimes it's advisable that you have your own account, she has her own account, because you have your immediate needs. She has her immediate needs. She doesn't have to come even when she getting a dress that my dear, I need a dress. No, I mean, she will nag you too much. But then you can have a joint account, both of you, which you dedicate to a mortgage, maybe to a future purchase of a vehicle, depending your income, differential in the incomes. If you can buy a Mercedes on your own, so be it. If you can buy a Ruda on your own, so be it. Yeah, but you need to agree. But the ideal situation is where you keep your own bank account for certain expenses, let her keep her own account for her own needs to avoid those kind of daily calls and issues. But for investment or for future, you require probably, that's again personal, a joint account. Because joint account where you save all money for your future investments. So is advisable. I hope I've answered your question. Okay, sure.
Maybe I will
yeah, sure.
Reinforce what Brother Wairi is saying, especially pertaining to finances. One of the issues you need to discuss and be free right from the beginning is your finances. And every one of us, the two parties in a relationship, want to know what is my contribution in this relationship? What do I bring in a relationship? So, but the leadership must be from you. And therefore, thereafter, your woman will follow. The critical thing is you must have goals and ambitions. Ultimately, what happens is that you develop like 3 identities. There is the identity of the marriage, the two of you, and then you have your own personal identity, and she has also her identity, true? So do not let the relationship or the marriage, okay, deny you your identity. You have your own passions that you feel clearly about. The lady must also have her own passions, true, that she can pursue. do not become like a tracking device. Yeah? Umekuwa naenda women's chama, hata mimi nitajoin. Because you want it to follow whatever. She let her maintain her identity. When she anasikia there's a boys club meeting today, she also wants to join the boys club. It means, therefore, the marriage has become existential threat. True? So maintain the relation. The relationship must be very clear. You must be vulnerable. Brother Oero says again, you must basically be transparent right from the beginning. Okay? Disclosure. That's what we say. That's what I mean by being vulnerable. You must be totally disclosed, and this is who I am. Like it or not, I can't. This is me. This is my ambitions. All right? The same lady will do the same. Let her know you're earning a tenth of her salary. It's important. Thank you.
Actually, the point is, you see, that's why I'm emphasizing. Marriage is a long term. And the vows are clear until days to part. Sidio, that's African. So unless the worst comes, you are there to live for a long age. So you need total disclosure, total openness, and so that you create trust. Let me conclude by saying there is nothing as good, and my friend here, Eric, I'll give him an example. All ladies, all women, you need to be a hero to your wife. The question is, and I give you a homework, how do you become a hero to your wife or your girlfriend? You need to be a hero. To be a man enough, what you are given, the 3 P, that you are able to provide, that you have the potential, that you are able to protect. Hata kama ni lion inatokea hapa, you are going to deal with it. Sikuogopa unarudi huko nyuma, unawasha mama. Mulango, you have to be your lady's hero in whatever manner to earn her respect. Respect is crucial, but you have to earn it. Apparently, as a man, for a lady to respect you, you have to be able to deliver, and deliver many things. Of course, in quotes. You finish for yourself. Yeah?
God bless you. Mine is more of just a comment after.
Can I? Oh, okay. Oh, you stand so that. Anyway, I can see you now. All right.
Mine is more of a comment. I'm just responding to what this brother here. Sorry, I don't know his
Brother
name.
Nganga?
No, him.
Which?
The one with the cap. Yes, he talked about. He was asking a question about after someone has opened up to you, and they have let themselves become vulnerable. So how do you, and then you do not want to, let's say, continue the relationship, whether to say, how to say no.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So from there, it's just been lingering in my mind that, again, it's a thin line because the same concept can be used by toxic or narcissistic traits to manipulate someone by trying to open up to someone and then creating that so that you can sympathize more so if there is no confidence. If a brother, for example, feels less confident, like this sister may not accept my proposal, or a sister feels like a little bit insecure that this brother could leave me for someone else, they in most cases they could use such traits so that they can manipulate someone, create a sympathetic situation, open up and tell you so many things about their past, which they will expect you to always linger on and stay with them. So it's a thin line which someone has to know when to say no and draw the line. Like, if you've opened up to me, I respect that. As a friend, I can keep that, but then I cannot go beyond this. So you should be confident to draw the line and say no if you do not want to proceed, but respect that they decided to be vulnerable to you.
Okay. If I'm getting you, ideally, don't actually, as a matter of, I don't know, prudence or call it prudence or just intelligent, do one thing. Don't disclose all the information. You see, when you bump on somebody, you need now, of course, the first look or first contact, it depends. But ideally, I would suggest or propose, don't give all the information to somebody unless you disclose as information as you proceed on. Yeah? If you tend to think this guy is getting serious, you una release kidogo, but you don't release all of it. Certain information. Sidio, you use your intelligence. This guy, is he serious or ni mukola tu akupitia, taking advantage of you. You need, that's why it's important your first meeting or second meeting, you need to use your sixth sense. Once you know how the relation and you monitor how it's going, then it's your sixth sense or your sense should tell you what to tell this guy by and by until when you have now declared you are likely to strike the marriage contract. Yeah. But otherwise, don't be offended because it can be very disappointing when you have given all the information and the guy leaves you, or you leave him for that matter. But the information should be released, pole, for obvious reasons, because the relationship may not finally be conclusive or lead to a marriage. But of course, when you are married, me personally, it's total disclosure to create trust. Have I answered you? No, the lady. Are you satisfied? Okay.
There's another one here.
Where?
Right here.
Okay, sure.
Okay. On still the topic of opening up.
Sorry?
That topic of opening up during the relationships. I was asking if it's wise for believers. Okay, after maybe a person has told you his or her past, is it wise to go for medical test, like to check, look maybe STDs, fertility test, and maybe blood, mental status, and the rest? And if, for example, you meet maybe the guy, okay, the medical test for on the negative sides. For example, one of you is not fertile. Do you think it is wise for you to continue up with the relationship, or maybe it's just not work out?
I think if you allow me to comment, you see, when you go to that, somebody says you are not digging somebody's, you are not going that far. The moment you go that far, you need to be what we call emotional intelligence. You see, the moment you ask that question to the lady, what do you expect? Sorry? No, you see, the guy is saying you go for tests, I don't know, for HIV and, STD. You should already know, and this is why some brothers think or tend to think our sisters are very, very, very intelligent. You'll be shocked sometimes they may be more intelligent than you. So don't play around. Try to ask those questions. She will disappear immediately. Maybe, God forbid, they call you names. Because why would you tell somebody to go for those tests and it's still very early? Maybe I should not answer that because I could be treading on the wrong ground. Before you proceed to find a relationship, is always, and this has been emphasized, seek the pastor's advice. Because the pastor will be your safeguard. It's a safeguard position because he has a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and anakuambia, haezi kukuambia kweli kweli, lakini atakuguide because by nature of his job and the fact that he has a lot of experience. Yeah, just before you go too far, again to avoid the disappointment and even before those kind of questions come in, because some questions should be left maybe I don't want to say that. They are questions to ask, and probably because of they are not decent. You need to be also do right things in the right way for decency. Yeah.
Another one is here.
Okay, thank you. God bless you, saints. My name is Rose. what I'm asking still pertains to matters dating.
Can you speak up, please, for the
When,
benefit of the
when you two are dating,
Yeah.
and before you even visit the pastor, maybe a number of times, maybe you take the person to your parents to see your parents. So how far is far as far as maybe having sex? Let me just hit the nail on the point, yeah, on the head. I mean, how far is far? How far is far matters sex on board, because if a person has visited your parents, let's say the guy has gone and visited your parents, should that be a green light for you to go on and maybe engage in sex? Because the guy will tell you, maybe as the other guy was asking about there, that the guy will take you out, and it's not just a matter of paying cash when they take you for a date, but they want you to return that favor to them if you're a lady, that show me now that you love me. It is happening in this generation. Yeah. How do you reciprocate that love?
Okay, madam. You have pushed me to... are we together? I know what you have said. Let me probably go in an area I'm not supposed to go. The moment, of course you don't do that if you are Christian, because it's already a sin. It's fornication, isn't it? Well, the other bit and the worst more, if you sleep with a person before marriage, you have given up your, what do I call it? Maybe there is a better word for it. If you do it, you have lost your personality. That guy, instead of actually loving you, he will leave you sometimes, because that's your only regard. If you are vulnerable to that extent, you have lost your game. Yeah. Sidio, I mean, senior, I can hear some ladies laughing, because you should never... why would you go to a boy, a fellow, to reward him? Reward him for what? He can go to hell. I mean, sorry to... there are no rewards. He should marry you the way you are, to go take you to bed. That should, in fact, you should learn away. The moment that clicks, that is all he is after. And most men leave girls after they take them to bed. Is it not a fact? Yeah, I mean, out there, of course, I don't expect that in a church, because it's immoral, it's not right, and it should not never be encouraged, because it's wrong. Yeah. Probably it's good to emphasize in this forum, the pastor is here, guide you in most of the areas. And until he complains that you are overloading him, then we could even involve somebody, an assistant pastor, that the bigger major role for the pastor is to guide you more so at that stage. Because if you move light, his job let alone will be less, because there will be less problems. Sidio River. So feel free to consult. By the way, what you're asking, at what time do you go to the pastor? I think you can go as many times as you want, if that will guarantee your safety and a better marriage. Sidio, pastor, with your permission. Yeah. Because, I mean, look, the pastor have dedicated this day, almost 2 days, and the resources, and don't forget, time is also a resource. I have not slept for 2 days, so that he pulls us to come and talk to you for a better tomorrow. So you have a duty also to make your tomorrow a better time by doing what perhaps you are saying, and of course, being prudent enough in your choice. Yeah. Okay. Are we done?
Asante sana.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Makofi ya mzee.
Good. Tuko sawa? Kabisa. Wala wanalala inua mikono. Okay, good. So, can we give Brother Owero another clap? So, we are doing well. I mean, I think we need some break. According to the program, we are supposed to have a nap True? Yeah. Okay. 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 So there was supposed to be a nap and relax. We'll do I think also for those who want to take shower, we can make arrangements. How many can take shower with cold water? Cold water. 1, 2. My goodness. How do we warm the water? How do we warm the water for 200 people? I think we can take the opportunity to warm the water. I don't know. We will talk to the caterer and let's give the sisters some priority. Tuko sawa? Wandugu, hata ukipata karai moja, you feel I'm ready to marry. Kuna kitu inakuambia. Sio relatives, sio pastor, watakukumbusha pengine unaweza kuwa umeshikana sana umesahau. Lakini kuna kitu ndani kanakuambia ukiwa tayari, si ndio? Na saa ingine akili zetu tumeweka expectations about life very high and then we postpone a marriage that was supposed to take place 5 years ago because of our mental expectations. Don't build expectations that are unreachable. There's a brother who told me, Pastor, I want to get married, but once I have this kind of money, he had a target that he was actually trying to achieve of certain amount of money. I don't remember the figure. And nikamuuliza, how long have you given yourself that target? He told me 5 years ago. And nikamuuliza, at that juncture when he was telling me, how much steps, even if they are baby steps, have you walked to arrive to that target? He told me nothing. I told him, give yourself another 10 years, you'll be in the same place you are now. Like Nganga said, synergies, and go talk to all the people married even young. There are very few people married old, very few. They are there. You'll find that dada akija anakuja na blessings zake. Ndugu akija anakuja na blessings zake. Mtoto akija anakuja na yake ya kufidiwa. Ikiwa mko sawa, a few of you, maybe we can work with our caterers to warm the water, and then we can slowly clear by saa 2 to take breakfast, and then we come for final session. We love you, we appreciate you, and we love your pastors where you have come from. They released you, your parents released you to be here, and you are most welcome. Mahali kuna tuvitu hapa na pale kama sitima ikapotea, and sio mapenzi yetu na mtusamee. God bless you richly, and let's pray. We give all the glory to Jesus.
We give all the glory to Jesus and tell of his love, and tell of his love. We give all the glory to Jesus and tell of his wonderful love. Na Yesu apewe utukufu, tangaza upendo, tangaza upendo. Na Yesu apewe utukufu, tangaza upendo wake.
Let's stand up, hold our hands together. United we stand, divided we fall. Relationship is supposed to give us great connection between one another as a Christian, and towards the marriage, one another with a girl that you are going to marry, and much more of priority to connect with God. Let's pray. Precious Heavenly Father, we feel so privileged that we have found favor before thee, and that we can bring our petitions, our thanksgiving, our prayers before thy throne. We know, Lord, there are 8 billions of people upon the earth, and many have not found this favor. They have no clue what you are doing upon the earth. We feel that we have more than the world has received, and not because we are any better, but we found grace before thy sight. And Lord, you've depicted grace in the Bible. You've seen those Gentile women during the era when you are dealing with the Jews, that they found favor. They were inducted into the generation of Jews, where God was dealing with them, married them, became part of the Jewish nation, and much more, they became the lineage of Jesus Christ, who was the grace of God that came to the world. Father, we have found the same grace. We were nothing. We were just Gentiles, sinners. Many of us did not even have a Christian background. But Lord, we found mercy. You called us in this dark hour. And we are here, Lord, to thank you, to praise thy holy name, Lord. We've been sitting here for over 12 hours to talk about these unsearchable riches of Christ. For we know, Heavenly Father, that any marriage that does not succeed or relationship, they also affect Christianity. Father, we want to be more rooted to thee, and everything that we do, whether in word or in deed, whether relationship, career, whatever it is, we want the hand of God in it. Father, look at these young girls, young men that have traveled from far distance. Lord, it's not a social gathering. We came here, of course, to socialize, but much more to really know about these things and even break away from monotony. Just have a good road trip. And dear Father, to come here and brainstorm and dialogue about things, about relationship. We thank you because many things have been spoken, probably not the way we should, but pick those broken pieces, form a picture, and Lord, let these dear ones get something. Father, so we can get some little rest before we go for breakfast or before we come back, we pray that you'll be with us. For in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ we pray. Then grace, the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore. Amen. God bless you. I think, I don't know whether you'll lead us.
That's fine. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. So basically, the organizer of the program thought it wise to give you some break at least for you, those who want to take a power nap or freshen up.